Mark Jacobs, and I am the co-founder of City State Entertainment. That's those guys over there. I'm here today to talk to you about something that everyone in the studio is excited about. It is this Kickstarter project for a game called Camelot Unchained, working title only. Camelot Unchained is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, and over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about very little bit about myself, a lot more about the game, and about the studio that hopes to make this game with your help. So thank you very much for coming to our Kickstarter page and watching this video. Hey, welcome back. Earlier I said I was only going to talk about myself for a little bit, and I promise I will. In order to do that, I am going to name, or try to name, every game that I've worked on in over 30 years of making games in 30 seconds or less. So ready, set, go. Galaxy, Aridath, Dragon's Gate, Aridath 2, Mage Storm, Splatterball, Darkness Falls, Castles 2 Online, Silent Death Online, Independence Day Online, Godzilla Online, Spellbinder, Splatterball Plus, a little game called Dark Age of Camelot, and all the expansion packs like Shrouded Isles, Imperator Online, Warhammer Online, and March on Oz. What is Camelot Unchained? Camelot Unchained is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, but with a twist. It is focused solely on tri-realm combat. Tri-realm is our way of saying realm versus realm, because realm versus realm is a registered trademark of Electronic Arts, all rights reserved. It is a game where 3 realms do battle against each other. The Vikings, the Tuatha De Danann, and the Arthurians. It is a game in which you, the player, help not only build the world, change the world, explore the world, but most importantly, fight each other. I want to talk to you about 3 pillars of gameplay: RVR, crafting, and housing. These are the 3 pillars that Camelot Unchained is based around. RVR. In RVR, you're going to play one of 3 realms, either the Arthurians, the Vikings, or the Tuatha De Danann, also known as the Sidhe. Each one of these realms is locked in a struggle for survival in a world that has been shaken to its core by a near-extinction event, what we're calling the piercing of the veil. Magic and power has poured through the veil once it was pierced, bringing about an extinction-level event on our world. What was left in ruins. Civilizations destroyed. However, this magic that has destroyed the world now brings it back, and that's where those realms have come from. So if you thought that these were just going to be Vikings with the silly pointed helmets and just the big axes, or if you saw Arthurians in a way that has been portrayed in games and books, or if you think that our TDDs, our Tuatha De Danann, are just going to be pointy-headed, sparkly elves, not a chance. New vision, very different, and we hope you'll find it very compelling. This is the world that we are hoping to create for you, and upon this world is where the RVR will happen. Up to now, I've talked to you a little bit about the races of Camelot Unchained and the realms of Camelot Unchained. Now I'm going to talk to you about the classes. The first and most important thing about our class system is that it's going to use a rock, paper, scissors approach. Now, what does that mean to you? It means that the classes in one realm are not identical to the classes in any of the 2 other realms. If we were going to do that, that would be called a mirrored approach. And a lot of games do use it, and frankly have used it successfully, but we prefer to do a more old school approach, where these realms and their classes are not identical. Now at launch. Our plan is to have at least 5 classes at launch, and we will be following a variant on the Holy Trinity. So you will have a tankish class, you will have a healer class, you will have a DPS class, you will also have a crafter class, and a hybrid class. And yes, you will have a pure crafter class. Now, that's what we hope to have at the start. Depending on what happens with our Kickstarter, if we reach some of our stretch goals, then we'll add some more classes. and we certainly hope to add more classes over the lifetime of the game, because frankly, it's fun to be able to do that, and I think it's important to help keep the game fresh. What we are going to do here is to look at each of the classes, whether they belong to the Trinity or the non-Trinity, and look for mechanics that are different, a little bit more interesting. And part of the reason we can do that, because this is a purely RVR game, without having to worry about PvE and having to worry about how people are going to defeat the NPCs. All we have to worry about is how you're going to defeat the other players. And that allows us a great deal of freedom, and we hope to explore that in our class system, as well as our racial system, realm system, and crafting system, which I'm going to tell you more about next. There have been some great crafting systems over the years, but ours is going to be a little bit different. Our crafting system is, first of all, totally player driven. There won't be any loot drops from NPCs. There won't be tokens that you use to buy items. Everything that you can hope to use in the game will be made by a crafter. And even more importantly, our crafters will get into the mix. They will be the guys who will be going out with the RVR players to build turrets, to fortify towers, to build traps, defenses. They will be an integral part of the game and not just an add-on. And the best part, there'll be a crafter-only class. So if that's all you want to do, if all that you care about is crafting, this is going to be the place you want to be. So I've talked to you a little bit so far about two of the three pillars of gameplay. First being RVR, second being crafting, and now I'd like to talk to you about housing. Terrible word. I shouldn't have called it housing. It should be called building, because that's what you're going to be doing. Whether you're a crafter or an RVR player, you will have some ability, some skill to build structures. Now our crafters, they're going to have the most skill. They're not going to be building just houses and safe areas. They're going to be building structures in contested areas. They're going to help build forts. They're going to help build traps. They're going to help build all manner of things that will help you in RVR. You will need them to be involved in RVR. And our RVR players, well, they'll get to build some things as well. Think about what the Roman legions used to do a lot during their, say, downtime. They built roads. They built palisades. They built a whole lot of things. And you guys, you'll have that same ability as well. Folks, thank you all very much for listening to our presentation. Before I let you go, there are a couple things I need to say to you. First, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, obviously, fabulous platforms. These things have the chance to revolutionize the game industry. We've had some fantastic, successes here. Speaking as a developer, from companies like Obsidian, In Exile, Richard Garria's project is now funded. It's all fabulous, and I couldn't be happier to see these other developers succeed. However, I want to do even more. We know we're asking for a lot of money. $2 million isn't the biggest ask in Kickstarter history, but it is a big ask. If we are going to ask you for so much money, then I need to do something even more special than we already have. You've seen our pledge tiers. If you've read everything that I've posted, or frankly almost anything that I posted regarding them, you know how I wanted to make them generous. I think that's the least I can do. But I do know I can do more, and here's where that comes in. I'm going to make you two promises. Promise number one, not a single penny that comes from this Kickstarter is going to go to pay my salary or bonuses or perks. Nothing. I have no right to take that money. I want your money to go into making a great game and not to go to pay my salary. I can afford to do that, and I am. That's promise number one. Promise number two, whether we raise $2 million, $3 million, or $2.1 million, I am going to put in some more of my own money. I'm going to put in $2 million regardless of what we raise. So if we raise more, I still put in $2 million. If we raise $2 million, I again put in $2 million. No matter what, my skin in the game equals at least $2 million. I've also raised another $1 million. So when this Kickstarter funds, the moment it funds, we will have a budget of at least $5 million. Now, I hope you'll do more. because if you can contribute more, we'll go even further with this game, as I'll detail in our stretch goals. And I think you're going to find some of them quite exciting. So, let me review. I'm making 2 promises. 1, not a penny from this Kickstarter money goes to me personally. Second, that I am going to put in $2 million regardless of the amount that this project funds, as long as it funds. If you've listened to me over the years in the occasional podcast, or if you read some of my, well, kind of frequent forum posts, you know that I rarely make promises. And I've made those promises to every one of our Kickstarter backers, and I will stick to them, as I always stick to my promises. You can count on that. So, what I've hoped we showed you is an exciting vision for Camelot Unchained. I've talked to you about everything that we can in this video about the game. I've talked to you about the realms, the races, the classes. I've talked to you about the pillars of gameplay, whether it's RVR, crafting, or housing. I've talked to you about our promises. I've talked to you about everything that we hope to do with this game, but we need your support to do it. If this project funds, we will make this game. If the project doesn't fund, it will not be made. Not by us, not now. And the reason, as I've detailed in other places, is that this is a niche game. It's a bit of a risky game. It's a game that we need to see the support from the community. And as I've told you, we will return that support in terms of monetary promises as well as actual development funding. If that's good enough for you to contribute, we really appreciate it. If it isn't, we understand. Hopefully, you will back this project. No matter what, once again, I thank you, and everyone at CSE thanks you for your interest in this and hopefully your support. Thank you very much.